Arizona blues.
Give it a shot. Wow, yeah, good.
This is really helpful.
From the Castle Yankee Nation. I just wanted to introduce yourself. So thank you. Go ahead, Fred, you can go first then.
A lot more work together. A lot more work. And you look 28 years old.
Thank you, sir.
God love you. Thank you so much.
I am grateful and honored to be here today. I am from Luxor, Arizona, a small town. Right there in my husband, my 2 years, 2 daughters and a granddaughter. I have served in the U.S. Army from 1986 to 2015, which I retired after 28 years of service. I went to Desert Storm and also Iraqi Freedom. My daughter was only 2 weeks old when I was called upon to service during Operation Desert Storm. She turns 30 today.
God love you.
Happy birthday.
You're welcome. Thank you, I should say. So I am very grateful and I want to thank you guys at this time for addressing the veterans issues on your past and present positions. And I know you will continue to address these issues, especially with the veterans health care and also the policies and procedures of the veterans hospital operations. Nobody should have to die in the waiting room of the hospital.
I guarantee you we will fix that.
Thank
We'll
you.
provide over $2 billion to get that done. By the way, we owe you so much. No one knows that better than Mr. McCain. John was a personal friend and a real hero. But you know, the idea that I remember, there's an expression. Your daughter's kids with my son's daughter.
It's been a long day, baby. Things ain't been going my way, you know I need you here. You clear my mind all the time. And baby, the way you move me, it's crazy. It's like you see right through me and make it easier. To please me, you don't even have to try. Oh, because you are the best thing. You are the best thing. You are the best thing ever happened to me. Baby, come a long way, baby. You know I hope and I pray that you believe me when I say this love will never fade away. Oh, because you are the best thing. You are the best thing. You are the best thing ever happened to me. Both of us have known love before. Come on, all promising like the spring to walk on out the door. Our hearts are strong and our hearts are kind. Let me tell you just exactly what is on my mind. You are the best thing. You are the best thing. You are the best thing
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty. Oh, yeah.
Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. 'Cause they're the ones who's coming up and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. Oh yeah.
The world won't get no better if we just let it be.
Oh no.
The world won't get no better. We gotta change again, just you and me. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the
Catch
hell.
all the
They don't
hell.
have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Oh yeah.
Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out, 'cause they do every time. Yeah.
The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Oh, the world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, just you and me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the God hour, the morning I wake up. Just for the breath of life, I thank my maker. My mom say I come from hustlers and shakers. My mind building on skyscrapers and acres. He said take us back to where we belong. I try to write a song as sweet as the Psalms. Though I'm the type to bear arms and wear my heart on my sleeve. Even when I fail in God, I believe. Read the days and weave through the maze. And the seas are so amazing. Feed them and raise them. Seasons are aging. Earthquakes, wars and rumors. I want us to get by, but we more than consumers. We more than shooters, more than looters. Created in this image so God lived through us. And even in this generation living through computers, only love, love, love can reboot us. Come on, wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed.
Oh, wake up everybody, yeah.
'Cause I need a little help. Can't do it alone. Oh, I need a little help. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I need a little help, y'all. Can't do it alone. Oh, I need a little help, y'all.
You're just another recovering heart. I wasn't even gonna try. You wouldn't even give the time. Could be so easy and make it hard. Don't think about it all too much. My love is gonna be enough. You're so close now, and I know now. You gotta give me just a little of your love, baby, and I'll try. You gotta give me just a little of your love, baby, and I'll try. You gotta give me just a little of your love, baby, and I'll try. You gotta give me just a little of your love. Give me just a little of your love. Don't it feel like that night was from a dream? I never felt nothing like that. Looking at you, looking right back. You say nothing is ever as good as it seems. Stop running your mouth like that, 'cause you know I'm gonna give it right back. Huh. You're so close now, so don't let me down. Just a little of your love, baby, and I'll try. You gotta give me just a little of your love, baby, and I'll try. You gotta give me just a little of your love, baby, and I'll try. You gotta give me just a little of your love. Give me just a little of your love. Oh, the love's dry, baby. Oh, I'll never let you down. With a little love, a little love, a little love, a little love. Give me just a little of your love, baby. You gotta give me just a little of your love, baby. You gotta give me just a little of your love, baby. You gotta give me just a little of your love. 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 Come on. Give me just a little of your love. Give me just a little of your love. Give me just a little of your love. You gotta give me just a little of your love. Give me just a little of your love. You gotta give me just a little of your love. 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 Come on. Give me just a little of your love. 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 Give me just a little of your love.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, when someone instead of me. Always seems to know the way. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, and when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. I just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Telling all the stars a name, hoping it is tell her, hey, and I love you, baby. I love you, baby. Running all through my brain, wishing that I could stay and just hold you, baby. Just to hold you, baby. Coming down from my army, Captain, can you get her to call me? Though I may be far gone, know that she's my only desire. Stay in her arms where the moon is shaded. Lose control and I might go crazy.
to adhere to social distancing guidelines as outlined by health experts Thank you for being here today.
I'm so glad I finally found you. Yes, that one in a million, girl. And now with my loving arms.
Please welcome to the stage, Vanessa Montez Casares.
am everyday people. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you all so much. It is an honor to be here today. My name is Vanessa Montes Casares. I am the daughter of two hardworking Mexican immigrants who came here in search of the American dream. My mother is no longer with us, but very present in my heart. She taught me the value of hard work and sacrifice. She taught me to be a woman of faith and love above all. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, where, due to the immense sacrifice of my parents' hard work, I was able to attend Borgate Catholic High School, and I am a proud graduate of Arizona State University. I am a business owner. I own several small businesses, including Legends Event Center, one of the most popular venues in Phoenix, Arizona. If you told me earlier this year, just a few months ago, that I would be standing before you, introducing you to the future President and Vice President of the United States, I would have never believed it. This has been a hard year for many of us. In my industry, the events business, we have felt the impact of the coronavirus pandemic especially hard. My business was shut down for 6 months. We have only started hosting smaller events in recent weeks. Afraid for my family's livelihood, it was a sacrifice we made to keep our friends, families, and communities safe from this virus. But it wasn't easy. And while big businesses and corporations benefited from the government assistance and loans, many small businesses in our communities, especially the Latino community, was left to fend for ourselves. Our restaurants, our clothing stores, our tech companies, we are the backbone of this community and this city. We're proud to be places where our family and friends celebrate major milestones and spend their hard-earned money. We're proud to be a place where hard work, along with talent and innovation, can come together to create jobs and help us build better lives. We know that President Biden and Senator Harris understand the value of hard work. They understand that my business is more than just where I work. It's a part of who I am. They understand that we measure how good our economy is doing by how well our workers are doing, whether their wages are going up, and whether their families are able to save a bit to get ahead. and whether their kids have a better life ahead of them. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have a plan to help us build back better. We know what we're getting under Donald Trump. No plan for COVID-19, and no plan to help us safely reopen our businesses. As small business owners, we now know the stakes in this election, which is why I'm so excited. Early voting started yesterday in Arizona. I saw people lined up before the polls, opened to be the first among to cast their ballots. This choice has never been easier. I am going to be a first-week voter to make sure my vote is counted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I am voting not just for me. I am voting for my whole family, for my 6 beautiful children, and for their future, for my fellow Latinos. There's so much on the line, but I have faith that we will elect the leaders that will restore the soul of our nation. As Mr. Biden says, juntos vamos a reconstruir mejor. Together, we will build back better. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great privilege and honor to introduce to you 2 strong and outstanding leaders, Senator Kamala Harris and Vice President Joe Biden.
We the people, hey now, got to make the world go round, got to make the world now. We the people, yeah, got to make the world go round, got to make the world now. You may have the black blood, or you may have the white blood, but we all are living on blood, so don't nobody slip into the mud, 'cause we the people, you tell them, got to make the world. Hi, everybody. Hi. Where's Vanessa? Where are you? Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you so very much for that introduction and for your leadership and all you do for the community here in Phoenix. Thank you. It's good to see everybody. It's good to be in the House of Labor. Earlier today, Joe and I had a chance to visit the American Indian Veterans National Memorial and pay tribute to the Native Americans who have served our country in uniform. We were joined by the great Cindy McCain, a longtime friend of Joe's and someone I greatly admire. And I was fortunate to serve with John McCain in the United States Senate. And what an incredible, incredible American. He was a patriot of the highest order. And Cindy is supporting our campaign. Isn't that great? And she's doing it because she knows that Joe and I will always do what she and John did, and that's put our country first. So we thank Cindy. We are so excited to be here in Arizona today. And later today, we'll stop and talk with workers and small business owners who are working so hard and doing everything right, but still struggling to get by. They are who I was thinking about last night at the debate. This election, more than any other in our lifetime, will affect every part of our lives, with consequences that may last generations. And there is so much at stake. Our nation is at a crossroads. Just think, all at the same time, we are experiencing the pandemic, the recession, a reckoning on racial justice, a changing climate that's battering our coastlines and setting the West on fire, and the future of healthcare hangs on top of it all. Because you see, President Trump is in the Supreme Court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And along with Senate Republicans, he's trying to jam through a Supreme Court justice
who will do exactly that, who will rip away protections from as many as 2.8 million Arizonans with pre-existing conditions. 2.8 Arizonans with pre-existing conditions. And while this president, of course, didn't bring the virus to our shores, his reckless disregard for human life and for the well-being of the American people has allowed it to spread the way we have seen, and the casualties have been enormous. And so let's not make any mistake. His refusal to contain this virus is what has wreaked havoc on our economy. And I know folks are hurting, but I also know this: we can overcome these challenges if we elect Joe Biden as our next president. And here's the thing, Joe has had a plan for COVID at least since March. He's been talking about this. He knows what this means and the kind of leadership that is required to get on top of it and get in control. Joe knows these things. Even, and you guys may have seen the debate last night, even when Joe didn't have the briefing that Donald Trump and Mike Pence had on January 28th, Joe knew, because of experience, that this could be serious. And under his leadership, we will contain this virus and save lives and build our economy back better than before. Joe will be a president who restores the soul of our nation. He'll be a president who creates good-paying jobs and eases the burden on working families. And above all, Joe will be a president who unites the American people. Democrats and Republicans and independents, old and young, from all backgrounds and races, to meet the greatest challenges of our time. And I plan on being right by his side. And we'll be ready on day one. We'll be ready on day one. But here's the thing, Arizona, we need your help. We've got only 26 days left. So let's not wake up the day after the election on November 4th wishing we'd done more. Let's organize and vote in numbers no one has ever seen before. Let's send Mark Kelly to the Senate. Vote like your life depends on it, because right now, it really does. And yesterday, Arizona, vote-by-mail ballots were shipped to homes across this state, and in-person early voting has started, including at the new McDowell Square Voting Center, just about a mile from here. So be a first-week voter, a first-week voter. And there are 4 ways to vote in Arizona. You can vote by mail. You can drop off your ballot at a drop-off box, a drop box. You can vote early in person, or you can vote in person on Election Day. And to learn more, go to iwillvote.com/AZ and make a plan. Write down when, where, and how you will vote, and tell everyone you know to do the same. Because Arizona's future, America's future, is in your hands. So let's elect Joe Biden as the next president of the United States of America. And ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the great Joe Biden.
Arizona. It's great to be back. It really is. It's great to be back. And thank you, Kamala. Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate it very, very much. And we met backstage, and the first instinct we all had was to hug each other, and we all realized, oh, no, we got to stay 12 feet apart. But folks, I want to give a special thanks to Ruben and Gallego for being here. And you're a big deal, man. I'm serious. And I noticed he did something that, this is what we call in our business a busman's holiday, coming to hear another politician speak and having to put a tie in when he shows up without a tie. But thank you very much. I appreciate it, pal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the President and COO of the Southwest Regional Council, Pete Rodriguez, where are you, Pete? Is he in here or is he in the other, and back in his office? Wherever he is, I want to thank him. You're not here now? Well, also, Fabian Sandez, President of Local 1912. And you've all been with me. We were talking, Kamala and I, coming down the hall. And we said, not a joke, it was just purely coincidental. She said, I love the Carpenters. She said, the first outfit that endorsed me when I ran for Attorney General for the DA in San Francisco was the Carpenters. And I said, I remember mine well, a guy named Cal McCullough, president of Carpenters Union from Newcastle, Delaware, one of the 350-year-old city on the Delaware River, was the first one to endorse me as well. And so, you know, you've been with me my whole career. And President Doug McCarran has been a longtime friend. We've worked together a long time. 520,000 carpenters. That's an incredible army to have behind you. And you are, I'm telling you. You have my whole career, and I hope you know I've had yours as well. You know, there's an old expression when I was growing up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It said, you go home with them that brung you to the dance. Well, the Carpenters brought me to the dance, and you're going home together. You're going to have a seat at the table. Folks, you know, people who shape the skyline, who build the foundations, everything we rely on, are the Carpenters. Labor brought me to the dance, and the only reason I'm able to run for president is because, standing here today, because of labor. You know, I've never forgotten everything you've done for me, and you've done for the country. I really mean it. You know, I get in trouble for saying this, but it's true. You're the backbone of America. You're the spine of America. You're the ones who actually built the country, not Wall Street bankers and CEOs. You're the ones who are going to rebuild it again, and you're going to build it back better, for real. Kamala and I can't thank you enough. And folks, I don't know if you caught it, but Senator had a heck of a night last night. I tell you what, you got to give me great credit for knowing how to pick him, right? I mean, I couldn't be prouder. She's like a younger sister, but I couldn't be prouder to be running alongside such a leader with remarkable character and vision, and who always, always, always is looking out for the people. Always somebody else, not her. Always. And I want to tell you something. It's Kamala and I are about to kick off a tour visiting businesses in this community. And the businesses, small businesses in this community and all communities are more responsible for more jobs than in the community, local small business owners. They're busting their necks than the major corporations. You add it all up for real. Small businesses create more jobs in America than the major corporate entities. And they make, and this community's found itself having to go through some really challenging times. I need not tell the congressman that. He's forgotten more about it than most people know. And like Chef Savannah owns 2 restaurants here in Phoenix. One, she had both, when they were struck by COVID, she had to close one of them down. And she's working hard to keep the other one afloat, Barrio Cafe, which we're going to be visiting later this afternoon. But it isn't easy. You know, the loan Savannah was able to secure back in the spring because of the legislation passed by the Democrats in the House, helped her for a little while. But it wasn't nearly enough. She's scraping by week to week trying to look out for her 10 employees, some of whom have been with her for decades. And on top of that, she's facing, and I have permission to say this, she's facing a terminal disease. Savannah had to cancel her own health insurance after finishing a round of treatment recently just to make ends meet. It's devastating, and it's heartbreaking, and it's wrong. Every American should be upset about what Savannah is going through. I think you all are. I know I am, because I know, we know, it didn't have to happen. If it had just done what you passed, just move forward, and then I'll talk about it in a minute, but Savannah's story is an increasingly common story for Arizona workers and small business owners. Too many Arizonans are facing hard times right now. They're trying their best, but it never feels like it's enough. You're not looking out for a handout. They're just looking for a fair shot. Just want an even shot. That's all they're looking for. And that's how my dad felt. When he couldn't find work in Scranton, when Cole died, he had to move on. I remember him taking us what I call the longest walk any parent has to make up a short flight of stairs to tell their kid, honey, I'm sorry, but you can't go back to St. Paul's. You can't go play in that Little League anymore. Dad's lost his job. There's no job here. I'm going to have to move. I remember him taking us to our grandpa's house. Me and my brother and my sister and my mom was shortly going to have another child. And we all went home. I thought about how hard it must have been for my dad. So many people in this town have done the same thing. Have to go to his father-in-law, the father of 4 boys and a girl, and say, Ambrose, I have to ask you a favor. I know how much pride it cost him. Can you take care of him for a year? I'll be back. I promise to come home every weekend. It was only 159 miles, but it seemed like the end of the world then. But he went down, and by the time he was able to get a good job enough to get us an apartment in a place called Claymont, Delaware, because he had been raised in Wilmington, Delaware. He ended up then getting a good job, a decent job, managing a car dealership. He worked hard to build a decent middle-class life, but it wasn't easy for him. He had an expression. He'd always say, and I mean this sincerely, he said, Joe, I don't expect the government to solve my problems, but I sure in hell expect them at least to understand my problems, just to understand them. And America, I think, deserves a president who understands what the American people are going through, who sees who you are, what you want to be, who cares about your health, your prosperity, your dream, your American dream. They're facing real challenges right now. And the last thing you need is a president who exacerbates them, who ignores you. And I'm going to say it. I've been saying it for a while. From my perspective from Scranton, a president who looks down at us, who thinks that if you put your life on the line for the nation, you're a loser, a sucker. That's what we're talking about with Cindy. My son Bo, passed away. Now it's going on 5 years, it seems like yesterday. Won the Bronze Star, Conspicuous Service Medal. He was a volunteer, he was the Attorney General, but he volunteered, had to get an exception to be able to go to Iraq for a year. And I promise you, he wasn't a loser. He wasn't a sucker. He, like all the veterans we met with this afternoon alongside Cindy McCain, they're patriots. They're people who understand that being an American is about recognizing there's some things bigger than yourself. Cindy's husband, John McCain, who I had the great privilege of him asking me to do his eulogy, we used to argue like hell. We were like 2 brothers. We'd fight like hell. But we always, always, always ended up together. And that's how it used to be. It used to be that way across the board. He wasn't a loser. They're all heroes. And you know what? They deserve better than a president who will say anything to deflect responsibility for any mistake he makes. I don't know whether you noticed, he recently said that, I asked him where he got the COVID, he said, I probably got it from Blue Star parents. They're people who lost a child in battle. He said, because they like to get close to me and hug me. I don't know how to say no. Look, we've paid too high a price already for Donald Trump's chaotic, divisive leadership. More than 210,000 Americans have lost their lives to this virus. We lose more every single day. Nearly 6,000 Arizonans have been lost. Nearly 6,000. Gone. Gone. More than 220,000 Arizonans have been infected with COVID. 122,000 jobs in Arizona still haven't come back. Nine times more Arizonans are on unemployment each week than before this crisis hit. But businesses like Silvana's restaurant are closing. Schools aren't back to normal because Donald Trump can't focus on what matters. When the House passed the so-called HEROES Act, that's the second big package they passed to get people on their feet again, some time ago. But the President, Mitch McConnell, did nothing to move the legislation. A lot of cities and states are going bankrupt because they have to balance their budgets. Our founders are pretty smart. The reason they wrote the Constitution the way they did is the Congress, the Senate, the House, the government could deficit spend in order to compensate for being able to make sure we got out of a hole. Trump is spending more time. I've been calling on this, as you probably know, for the last 4 months. He should get out of his bunker and out of the sand trap on his golf courses. Not a joke. I mean, think about it. He never once, I've been around a while, he never one single time tried to bring Democrats and Republicans together in the White House to try to get a settlement. Not once. You can't name me a president in the lifetime of any of you that refused to deal that way in the middle of a crisis. But the leadership of Congress together to resolve the issue is something that wasn't on his watch. And on Tuesday, and Congressman, I'm sure you were probably not surprised by it, but on Tuesday, he announced he's walking away from negotiations to provide additional relief for working people, mom and pop businesses, schools, just go down the line. On October 8th, exactly 2 months since the emergency small business program was closed, 2 months of small business owners in Arizona and across the country waiting and hoping for just a little bit of help to be able to stay open. More than 400,000 small businesses have permanently closed nationwide. 400,000. Millions are struggling to hang on. The legislation has already been passed. It's there. I handle what they call the Recovery Act when we inherited the Great Recession. I had the ability to deal with $800 billion spent in 18 months. All the outside groups point out less than 0.2% waste or fraud. But you know what we did? We provided $148 billion of the cities and states so you didn't have to lay off cops, firefighters, sanitation workers. You didn't have to lay off nurses, close down county hospitals. You kept it open. And America got through it and began to generate the longest period of recovery in modern history. How many more have to go under? How many more dreams have to be extinguished because this president threw in the towel? Instead of focusing on your needs, he's still trying to take away your health care. I mean, think about that. I mean, just think about it. I mean, I'm not, but if I were a playwright and writing a play, there isn't a single solitary outfit in Broadway that would take it because it sounds like ridiculous fiction. In the middle of a pandemic, when already 10 million Americans have lost their employer-based insurance because the employer went under, he's trying to take away insurance from another 22 million people who got it for the first time. And the pre-existing conditions that the senator talked about. He's in the Supreme Court right now, asking to strike down the Affordable Care Act, the entirety of it. Take away Medicare benefits for seniors. People don't realize how deep this goes. And taking us back to a time when insurers could deny coverage because of pre-existing condition. I want you to understand this. Women's rights are, I'm not talking about the right to choose now. Women's rights are valid. You realize, before Barack and I passed the law, pregnancy was considered a pre-existing condition. Not a joke. Insurance companies were allowed to charge more for a woman for the same exact medical procedure that a man would have. Same one. And look what's happened. Minority communities were devastated. But he's done beyond that. He's vowed, and this isn't even getting much attention because so much chaos is going on. He vowed to, quote, terminate the funding source for Social Security. That's the withholding tax you pay, you know, for Social Security, 6.5%. He wants to terminate it. So it makes it look like you got more in your paycheck. But the actuary at the Social Security Department said, if he does that, Social Security will be bankrupt by the middle of 2023. Benefits for more than 1 million Arizonans rely on the whole idea of a dignified retirement. The fact is, President Trump can only see the world from Park Avenue. He thinks that Wall Street built America. That's why he let big corporations jump into the front lines and get the recovery money that the Congress helped pass while small businesses struggle to stay open. What people don't know, because it's so complicated, so much is happening, Congressman can tell you, there was an inspector general that they appointed, meaning somebody who had independent capacity to look into anything that was being done on the money being spent, okay? I had an inspector general overlooking the $800 billion I was responsible for. Twice, every 2 weeks, I met with him in detail, so we knew exactly where the money was going. What's the first thing the president did? He fired the inspector general. Think about that now. 40% of all the money that was supposed to go to small businesses in the first time around went to the Mar-a-Lago crowd, the wealthy. No, I'm not, you think, I mean, if this wasn't so true, I'd be reluctant to say it because it sounds so bizarre. This president has forgotten the people who said he'd fight for. I'll never forget, because I see the world from where I grew up in Scranton and Claymont, a little steel town. I know that the middle class, working class built this country, and unions built the middle class. And I measure economic success by what families are talking about sitting around their kitchen tables, about having a decent job and benefits, about keeping your small business dream alive, about the conversations that took place this morning. Well, we need 4 new tires. The tires are bald in the car. We got to wait. We can't afford to get them. Can't do it. Who's going to tell her she can't go back to the community college because we just can't borrow any money anymore? Or you have 20 million people today, 20 million people, including here in Arizona, who are worried about whether they can pay this month's mortgage payment. 20 million. And look at all the people who are worried they're going to be thrown out in the street because they can't pay their rent. These guys provided for all that. But nothing. Being able to look your kids in the eye. My dad used to say, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about your place in the community. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay. And mean it. And mean it. Well, that's what Kamala and I are focused on. Say to our kids, honey, it's going to be okay. That's what we're talking about. We're going to get this virus under control. We're going to reopen safely and strongly, creating good-paying jobs, and working to end this era of rancor and division. Because if we're going to get anything done, we have to do it together. I've been saying this since I announced that people thought it's being naive. They say, oh, you got a lot of things done, Joe, before, but that was the past. Well, guess what? If we can't bring the country together, we're dead. This is a democracy. It depends on a consensus. You got to bring people together. It was somewhat maybe presumptuous of me, but I made a major speech I worked really, really hard on for a long time in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And I did it 2 days ago. And I talked about in Lincoln terms, that we have to bring America together. We can't hold grudges. I'm running as a proud Democrat with a capital D, but I will be an American president, not a Democratic president. I'll work as hard for those who didn't support me, I promise you, and look at my record, as those who did support me. Because the fact is, that's the job of a president. It's a duty to care for everybody, not just who voted for you. After all we've been through, all America's accomplished, all the years we've stood as a beacon to the world, we cannot allow ourselves to remain divided. We have the ultimate power in our hands. You know what that power is? That little sticker you have on. The power to vote. Oh, really. You can still register here in Arizona to vote. Early voting's already begun. And the vast majority of Arizonans vote by mail. And those mail-in ballots are start arriving in the next couple of days. So Kamala and I are saying to you, the best thing you can do is return your ballot quickly. Don't risk delays. Return that mail-in ballot as soon as you can. And make sure your voice is heard. Because if your voice can overcome and go out and vote, your voice through your vote can overcome every one of the challenges we face. And by the way, you know what they're setting up? They're setting up the argument that these votes aren't going to matter. You saw what happened today. The FBI arrested a group of militiamen who had a plan to go in and to kidnap the governor of Michigan. You'll see it in the news tonight. The governor of Michigan. Remember those guys with the assault rifles standing in their driveway? And the president saying things in my debate with him like, to the Proud Boys, an all-white supremacist group, stand down but stand ready. This is serious stuff. We can't just win by a vote. We've got to all turn out. We can be better than we've seen. We can be what we are at our best if we all get out and vote. And at our best, we're the United States of America. And all kidding aside, it's not some prosaic thing. The fact is, America's never, ever failed. We've stood up together. We're the only nation in the world that's come out of every single crisis, war or economic crisis, stronger than when we went into the crisis. So folks, I'm more optimistic today about America's chances at home and in the world than I've ever been. I've been around a long time. I've worked with a lot of presidents. I really mean it. We have a chance, not only to improve our country, but to change the world. We have the most powerful military in the history of the world. But that's not why the rest of the world repairs to us. It's not the example of our power. It's been the power of our example that has the rest of the world follow us. And that example is being trashed around the world. As the senator said last night in the debate, it's true. 17 major countries in the world are asked what leaders did they admire the most, trust the most. The Pew Foundation, it was Pew, I think. You know what they said? More people trusted Xi Jinping of China and Putin of Russia than the President of the United States. That has profound security as well as economic impacts for us. So folks, let's not quit. There's no quit in America. We have never, ever quit. And if we need you to stand up at any time in our history, we need you now. Thank you for being here. God bless you, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. Park the bus inside. Thank you, everybody.
at here, baby, I'm coming up on my knees, begging please, yeah. Look at here, baby, there's no one else. Come on now, leave me on. Look at here, baby, I'm coming up. 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 Look at here, baby, I'm coming up.
We'll be fighting in the streets with our children at our feet. And the morals that need worship will be gone. And the men who spurred us on, sitting judgment of all wrong, they decide and the shotgun sings the song. I'll tip my hat to the new Constitution. Take a bow for the new revolution. Smile and free, let the change all around. Pick up my guitar and play, just like